What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Love and Rice with your host, Aunt Ma, and host, Christina Ma. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about should parents keep guns in the house? That's a big thing because there's so many people who are afraid of guns, anti-guns, and things like that. And so, I've had a gun for a long time. I've had...
What's a long time?
Obviously before I could get a gun, I had guns illegally.
Okay.
Because back in the days when it was like, you're around a lot of gangs and you're trying to protect yourself, like it's not for using it on someone, it's to protect yourself. Right. So even when I got it illegally, it was to protect myself.
Okay.
Right. But now, it's totally different. Now we have our permits, right? We've taken classes and we know how to handle guns.
Right.
So I have a lot of guns now, and well, I love them.
Yeah. I mean, I think we knew how to handle guns, a few, I don't know, it's been a long time, right?
Yeah.
When we're in California, but, you took your classes to have your gun license, right? And then for me, I just automatically owned your gun because we were married.
Right.
So I didn't really take the classes. I didn't have the booklet that you had. So I didn't learn a lot of the things about how to operate a gun, how to...
But I took the initiative to do all that.
Right.
And I gave you books to read and you just didn't want to read them.
No, you didn't give me the books. You just said, oh, this is the book that I had to take it. And that was it. But
I always tell you to get your license.
Yeah, but I was just saying, it's crazy because in California, they're more strict about it. But at the same time, you were able to take classes and then automatically, I just was able to have ownership of the gun to use.
Our property is the same.
Yeah.
Right. So, a lot of people, no matter what, guns are everywhere. If we stop guns and ban guns, people can still get them illegally.
Right.
I still can. I can still ask people to get me something. But it's I want the option to legally own guns so I can protect myself and my family. I just want that option.
Yeah.
So it's hard when people are like, hey, we're trying to ban guns. And it's yeah, but you're taking away from a good person.
Right. Because all of the people who want guns to use it for the wrong reasons, they're going to get it no matter what.
Exactly.
So imposing those gun laws, actually, it does hurt the people who are just trying to use it for protection and who are actually doing it the legit way.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when, knives are illegal to carry. So a knife, when the blade is longer than your palm, it's illegal, right? So...
that's it.
Huh?
That's it.
That's pretty much. And so everyone has a knife that's longer than that. So I was carrying knives illegally since middle school. You know what I mean? So it's nothing's going to stop me from protecting myself.
Yeah, I used to carry around a switchblade before because someone gave it to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know it was illegal. Or I guess at one point I did realize that it was. But I was like, you know what? This is the only thing that I have. And I'm not going to go somewhere to buy one that meets the legal standards. So I just had it with me.
Well, now we should think like that because obviously back then we didn't care if we went to jail or not for something like that. But now when we have kids, we can't risk any of that.
Yeah.
Right? We just want to be good citizens, Samaritans, all that, and just follow the laws. So I think the biggest thing is that a lot of people talk about being irresponsible with guns and keeping them in the house. So you hear a lot of things on the news where a kid shot themselves, shot their siblings, shot their dad, and they died.
Yeah, the one thing I don't understand is how do you hear these stories about kids taking in the guns to school?
It's just irresponsible parents and gun owners. You have to have a safe.
Yes.
Yes, safes cost $200, $500, sometimes even $1,000. But you got to spend the money to get a good safe so the kids can't get the guns.
Yeah, you're talking about saving lives and for the sake of the family and stuff,
Right. And even if you think your kid is not going to take it, you still have to put them away safely because it's on you, right? And now they're charging parents. If your kid killed somebody with guns, now they're going to charge the parents as well.
I mean...
And they should.
Yeah.
Right? So here's a little some fun facts about me as in my past. When I was a kid, I would say in elementary school, okay, my dad had guns. He had rifles, okay? And I have no idea where he hid them. I don't know if he had a safe. I don't know if he hid them. But I just knew that I didn't know where they were.
But you knew he had them. How did you know?
I knew because one time I was playing basketball in the backyard, and then he brought the rifle out in the backyard. And then he told my brothers to come out, and he started teaching them how to shoot the rifle in the backyard because we had a mountain in the backyard and things like that. And
That's
it was
crazy.
and it's not a loud gun. It was like a 22. 22 sound like a BB gun.
Yeah.
Right. So he was teaching them how to shoot the rifle, and they didn't ask me to shoot it because I was in elementary.
Young, yeah.
I'm talking about like probably first grade or something.
Oh my gosh.
But even though seeing that, I wasn't scared or excited or anything. I was just like, oh, okay, well, they're just doing something.
Yeah.
And then, now at this age, I know my dad has guns. At any point, I did not go look for them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care to look for them. When I got to middle school and high school and I was starting to get bullied, I didn't go look for a gun to bring to school and try to shoot people. So, I think it's the way kids are also raised in the house, because knowing that my parents had guns, I didn't go look for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Growing up, I knew my dad had one, and he did try to hide them in different spots. And I was like a nosy kid. I would climb up and look around everywhere. I would climb high up over on the counter.
Looking for them?
No, I wasn't looking for them, but I would be looking for other stuff,
Oh, I see.
I was just really nosy and curious. And then I would see it and it's there, but I didn't want to, acknowledge the fact and let them know that I saw it. But I wasn't ever too curious where I even touched it or wanted to look at it.
I think there's a time I did see him cleaning the gun, and I never touched it or anything. When I see the guns at that young age, I know how dangerous it is.
Right.
So
same.
I just don't touch it.
Yeah.
I know it's not for kids. But then when I see BB guns, I'm all over it. I want to buy BB guns. I'll buy it underage. I'll tell someone else to buy me a BB gun. I'll go shoot birds and all this stuff, right?
Yeah, I didn't even like playing with BB guns.
I would shoot BB guns all the time. And then one time, me and my cousin, he had a pump shotgun BB gun, and we'd have to pump it every time, and we'd shoot birds.
I've been shot by those before.
Yeah, and we're in sixth grade, seventh grade, and we'd be playing with it. And then I guess my grandma saw us shooting it in the backyard, and then she would tell my parents, and then they'd call us in for this big meeting and be like, where's this gun that grandma saw you? And then we pull it out and be like, it's a BB gun, but they were so serious about it. You shouldn't be playing with guns, da 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 da.
How did you even get that?
It was my cousins. I don't know how I got it. But it's in our mind at that age, we're like, it's just for playing.
Yeah,
it's
just a toy,
gun.
right?
I know the difference between a real gun and a BB gun.
Yeah, so I guess not all kids know that though, and I think
but I wasn't taught that. I don't know, it was common sense, and I just knew better.
I think it's also because of the way that your parents handled the gun and everything too, because if you saw them flashing it around and doing all these irresponsible things, then you would kind of be like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be.
Oh, that's true.
But I think because they were so careful about it and they hid it from you, but at the same time they kind of exposed you to it in a safe way.
Kind of. I don't think they purposely did. I've only seen my dad clean his gun once.
Okay.
And that's the only time I really see it. So I think that if you show the guns around the kids, don't, right? But if you do, you show them when you're responsible, which is cleaning the gun or teaching something.
Yeah, I think eventually when they get old enough, it's good to teach them about it so they can understand how serious it is to have a gun and how much harm it can cause.
I see these YouTube videos of these little girls they're 5, and they got the headgear on, the safety goggles, and they're at the ranges and they're shooting competition,
5-year-olds?
5-year-olds. It's crazy.
That must not even be around here then.
I don't know, probably in the Midwest somewhere.
Okay.
Right. So, or in the South. But, that makes me look at it like, okay, so a kid that young can actually be responsible with a gun. And maybe it'd be a good idea to teach them how to use it so they know when they see one, what not to do.
Yeah, I forgot what the age was in Nevada where they can start handling it. I know it was on the test that we took too. We just did it for the concealed carry license.
I don't remember that question.
Oh man, I'm not gonna even guess because I don't want to get the wrong answer.
Would you be comfortable getting the kids some shooting lessons?
When they're old enough,
What's old enough?
I think it would probably have to be past the minimum age, because I think the minimum age was still pretty young.
I mean, like, forget about the minimum, what the minimum age is. Like, what age would you be comfortable having the kids learn how to shoot?
I think they would at least have to be in their teenage years.
Like 12?
Maybe I would really have to judge it by their character and how well they absorb things, and just how they are at that age.
I feel like 8 years old is a good first time.
I almost feel like the age requirement is 9.
Because there's little kids that go hunting with their parents.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think exposing it to them is not a bad idea, because if they do see it, I guess they're more comfortable around it.
That's the main goal. I want them to not be afraid of the guns. It's not that I want them to use it.
Right.
But I don't want them to, like, if they ever heard one, they're running for their life. They're crying. They're like, it's so loud, and they're traumatized. I just want them to know, like, how to handle it. And if there was a situation, yes, they can defend themselves and shoot the robber that comes in the house. But at the same time, it's just like not be scarred for life when something happens.
Yeah, because I feel like the more you try to hide something from your kids, or you try not to like expose them to anything, they're more like shielded, if that makes sense. Like they don't know much of what's going on, and if they were put into a situation, like they would just be completely clueless and helpless, you know?
Yeah. One of the things that I really don't understand is that when the kids bring them to school, right? And they're like, there was a bully and I brought it to school and I wanted to shoot him or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when I was in school, like starting middle school and high school, that's when I was getting bullied a lot. And then there's also like gang bullying and all that stuff.
Right.
And there are times when I really, really hated people, but I wouldn't bring a gun to school. And I wouldn't think about shooting them. You know what I mean? I would think about it. If I was to get shot, then I would shoot them. But I wouldn't go to their house and shoot them or anything like that, or shoot up the whole school.
I feel like a lot of people, like when those shootings happen, I feel like it's with people who have a lot of psychological issues, and they probably, definitely the way that they're brought up and raised, and like their parents maybe.
Yeah, in a normal situation, everyone would probably just be like me. You know, they wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, my dad has a gun. Let's go find it. Let's go play with it.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't do that.
Yeah, so I think it just has a lot to do with like gun safety. Like for us to have it in the house, we make sure we have it like securely locked. If, you know, some of the guns, they have safeties on it, we make sure that the kids can't access them. And I think that's just the biggest thing. And I know there are a lot of people who are anti-gun and they would never get a gun because they don't trust themselves with it, and they don't think that they can be safe enough with it.
Like there's a lot of women who are like, no guns in this house.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, if you learned a little bit about guns and took classes and went shooting, I think you'd feel a lot more comfortable. Right? Like, how do you feel now after taking those classes? And
well, I feel more confident for sure, because even when we would go to the shooting ranges, like in the beginning, you know, the first time I went to a shooting range, I actually initiated it and asked my brother to take me to the shooting range, because I wanted to know how it felt. Like I wanted to know how to operate a gun. And after that, like I got more comfortable. But then when you don't use it for a while, or you don't go shooting, you kind of and when you go back again, you're kind of like,
you're uncomfortable.
You're uncomfortable again, and you kind of get scared and you get shaken up a little bit when it's so loud and you feel the recoil. But I think after taking these classes and just being more educated about guns and the laws, I feel pretty confident in it now. Like after we took these classes, when we went to the range or during the test, you actually have to shoot your gun, and I felt pretty good about it.
Yeah.
And just knowing that I feel like in any situation, if anything were to come up, like you're always gonna freeze, or everything that you've learned might go out the door. I don't know. Yeah. But at least I know in the back of my mind that I just need to practice and kind of like get used to.
So, you know, you're comfortable now.
Yeah.
But when you first met me, you knew I had guns and you weren't comfortable at that time. Like, what was going through your mind?
Well, I think because when we first met, right, I didn't know too much about you, and you look like this little like hoodlum and stuff. So I'm like, what does he have guns for? You know, you're actually the first guy that I've been with like my actual boyfriend that had like all these tattoos and stuff. So I was kind of like, okay, I need to get to know this person more and to know his history, his intentions. Like, is he a little gangster or does he just use it for, you know, for protection?
Yeah,
So,
just for myself.
Yeah, so I like if I were to meet new people and we're in the same room and they have guns like laying around, like, am I gonna feel comfortable if I don't know them enough? I don't know, because you
Yeah,
have to
'cause-
be able to trust that person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go to someone's house and they have guns all lying around.
Yeah, because accidents can happen, you know.
Because you don't know how responsible they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. You know, there's this one time, so my dad never took me to the shooting range, but when I started buying guns, rifles, ARs, like AR-15s, and then I ended up buying like a Remington M24, which is like a sniper rifle. So you could go hunting, or for me, it was more for preparing for a zombie apocalypse. So if that was to happen, I can go on my roof and I can snipe, right? Like it's just all for zombies.
I've always known that
And so
about you.
the moment I was able to get those guns, I took my dad to the shooting range with me.
Oh,
You know,
was that the first time that you went?
That was the first time, and I was like 30 years old. And
That was your first time going to the shooting range?
with my dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, because I wanted him to be like, I wanted to show him my sniper
Yeah.
rifle, my AR-15s, and I'd be like, look, Dad, this is cool. Like, have you ever shot one of these? You know, so I just wanted to teach him about the weapons that I had.
Was he comfortable using them?
Yeah, he loved it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He probably used them a lot too before. You just didn't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, who knows? But I hope you guys feel a little more comfortable with this gun talk that we just had. Let us know what you guys think about it, and if you guys have guns in your house or why you're so scared of them and you just don't ever want to see one.
Yeah, share your experiences with us, because I feel like with our community, like it's good to be able to discuss topics like these. You know, there's something that we can learn and there's things that you guys can learn too.
I would say ever since Asian Hate, that's when I'm like, that's when you were like more into guns.
Yeah.
For more protection.
Yeah, and I was always carrying mace and pepper spray and tasers. I still do, but you know, that's going to change.
I mean,
out
even
here.
my dad wanted to buy more guns ever since that Asian Hate stuff came out, because, you know, the elders were getting beat and stuff. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode, and make sure to follow us on all podcast platforms, and we'll see you guys next time.